Okay, well, wow. Cyberpunk 2077 came out and the reception has been mixed. Okay, I guess that's not entirely true. Honestly speaking, the reception has been so bad that there are people seriously out here willing to line CD Projekt Red up against the wall alongside the likes of EA and Ubisoft, which is just so wrong on so many levels. But you know what, before I digress too much, I think it's important to start by saying that a lot of the criticisms for Cyberpunk should have been expected. I mean, for starters, there were a lot of promises CD Projekt Red made that, as the game stands right now, haven't been made good on. Stuff like a comprehensive warrant system, better NPC AIs, you get the idea. Furthermore, the game has been talked about and marketed for over 8.5 years, and it's been in development for over 4, so it's safe to say the non-stop marketer's wet dream of advertising probably set plenty of people up with unrealistic expectations for how fulfilling their own playthroughs would be. Couple this with the fact that the game was delayed several times out of what is now an obvious attempt to polish off the game and deliver on promises, and the sloppy and unoptimized console release that many people experienced on day one, and you have a recipe for disaster. Not in the actual game, however, because, to be clear, Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the best, if not the best, video game I have ever played. No, the issues with this game lie more in the early release imposed on the devs by leadership, and the unrealistic expectations that many people had for this game. I myself went into the game with expectations that wound up not being met. You know, I wanted to see more of a flexibility when it came to character customization and dialogue options, and I didn't exactly get that with V, who is surely a fantastic character, but not as flexible a character as, say, the Courier from New Vegas or Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. And, of course, I guess it goes without saying, I've seen my own fair share of bugs in my playthrough. All this to say, I get the criticisms, and I genuinely want to see CD Projekt Red deliver on their promises just like the rest of you guys. That being said, and I can't believe I really have to say this, but give these motherfuckers a break, man. This past week has been a pretty much non-stop hate parade for CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077, and as someone who has actually sat down and sunk a sizable and ever-growing chunk of time into this game, I can tell you for certain that it's already a once-in-a-generation instant classic that people will be talking about for years to come. And I'm not saying this to say you shouldn't be angry or that you shouldn't make your voices heard, but it does mean that you should cut CD Projekt Red some goddamn slack, man. Let them have a chance to right their wrongs. Let me remind folks of the fact that CD Projekt Red has never made a first-person RPG before. They've never optimized and delivered fun and engaging FPS gameplay. Matter of fact, they've never actually made a game that wasn't a part of the Witcher universe. This was their first attempt, and it's already better than almost any other RPG on the market. And let's be clear and snap back to reality for a second. This is CD Projekt Red we're talking about, not EA. We're talking about the guys who consistently adopt consumer-friendly approaches to their games. Free DLC, huge sales on content, and a track record of dynamite games that is still their legacy. Please don't compare them to EA or Ubisoft because they had one buggy release. When I hear shit like this, it really makes me question the entire base that critics of this game have to stand on, because I just can't and won't agree that one buggy launch makes a company as bad as Bethesda or Blizzard or fucking EA, for Christ's sake. Yes, Cyberpunk had a bad launch. Yes, there are many undelivered promises that I'd like to see added into this game, and yes, even still, Cyberpunk 2077 in its current state is a masterpiece. If you have this game and you seriously want to return it, go ahead and be my guest. CD Projekt Red has gone out of their way to make sure you can do that, even at the cost of their own profits. But if you do return it, you're just gonna wind up buying it again, because all of the problems this game has are purely temporary, and the same can't be said about the games produced by other companies that some are daring to call CD Projekt Red's contemporaries. You can have your criticisms, and shit man, you can even be justified in them, but don't over-exaggerate. Don't pretend this game is nearly as bad as games like Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, or fuck man, even Skyrim were at launch. And remember that you're talking about CD Projekt Red here, the guys who give their customers free shit all the time for nothing more than because they wanted to. Given all the goodwill they give us, the very least we can do is give some back. There's a fine line between constructive criticism and destructive criticism, and it makes me sick to my stomach to see these writers and developers who spent the last 8.5 years of their lives working on something this fantastic getting shit on because the leadership above them decided to release the game before it was fully optimized. And it makes me even sicker to see so many quote-unquote influencers and the godforsaken slum pit that is IGN piling onto the hate train just for clout or views. I'll probably get shit on by Reddit and Twitter for saying this, but I loved Cyberpunk 2077. I have faith in CD Projekt Red. This game is good, even on console, and if you're really ready to lump CD Projekt Red in with the EAs, Blizzards, and Ubisofts of the world because of Cyberpunk of all things, then dude, you're a goddamn clown, plain and simple. Sorry, look, I just felt that after all the hate this game is getting, somebody had to say something, and if I lose subscribers or get hate because of it, then so be it. But this channel is called So Good for a reason, and when I see a game this good being trashed this badly, I just can't help but stand up and say something about it. Anyways, as always, this has been So Good, reminding you all once again that Cyberpunk 2077 is a once-in-a-lifetime instant classic. And if you don't play it, you are missing out. But more importantly, keep on loving good stuff. Like Cyberpunk!